Who is the real Rafael meet? I cannot wait for this age-old question to finally be answered in this meet event as we got Rafael Fiziev at 11-1 under the UFC is looking like an absolute killer. Literally every fight he's in, essentially, or at least the last four, he's involved in either fight of the night or performance of the night performances. And these are against tough dudes, too. I mean, to have those performances, finishes over Renato Moicano, a unanimous, easy work decision over Bobby Green. I mean, I know that third round got a little bit interesting, and we can talk about that in a second, but it was still an impressive performance for Fiziev nonetheless. And then most recently, when he got that beautiful finish over Brad Rydell, he simply shut his brain off and capitalized on just a insane performance from him that evening. And he's going to need some similar insanity if he's going to take out RDA, who, even though he is 37 and has literally probably the toughest resume as far as just top to bottom, who has fought the most difficult opponents in their UFC tenure, Dos Anjos has to be at the top of that list because he's only ever fed two killers. And I'm stoked to see him have this late resurgence, a nice two-fight win streak at this point in his career because he picked up an easy win over Paul Felder. The record will showcase that it was a split decision, but that was for any judge to give Paul Felder that decision was an absolute travesty in that one. And then most recently, he smoked Renato Moicano, and that fight was at catchweight. Moicano was stepping in on short notice and gave a good account of himself, but RDA looked amazing and absolutely smoked Renato in that fight. So a similar recent opponent, right, for both Rafaels, both having wins over Moicano. We could go through all the wins and losses of Dos Anjos, but if you're watching this vid, I already know you know all about him. So, tell me who you think is going to win this battle of the Rafaels. Is RDA going to be too much of a levels test for Fiziev, or you that bullish on Fiziev and RDA is the next stepping stone? Who you got?
Yeah, this is a tough one because you already know RDA, he's always game. I mean, look at his resume, look at his losses, how well he does. I mean, minus, a few like Colby Covington leaving in his own puddle of blood. But, other than that, he's still there, which is mind-blowing. It's absolutely fascinating to see him making kind of a run back. I mean, he just looks so great at 37, doing very good his last two wins, and we're not surprised if he gets it done. With that being said, I think uh, Fiziev is the true Rafael, and I think he actually is going to get him out in 3 rounds. I think people are banking off the decision, or RDA getting the finish in the later rounds, which probably the most likable outcome for RDA, if I had to say. But dude, I think Fiziev is just a true automat. Like he's just so relaxed, so quick. You don't even know what's coming. You'll be asleep so quick.
Yeah, put your feet up, but I guess don't fall asleep in this one because it's truly going to be fireworks. And you think that it's an Ottoman finish, but I mean, I'm looking at RDA's stats, and I mean, this guy has only been finished once in the last decade. That was by Eddie Alvarez, and it was early. So you mentioned that those bullish on Dos Anjos think that a decision or perhaps a late finish is most likely. If you're taking the Fiziev finish, do you think that similar to that Eddie Alvarez contest many years back, that Fiziev is going to have to do this thing early and often? And if he doesn't, are you a little bit worried that the later this fight goes, the more it favors RDA?
Yeah, I mean, I would assume just because we do know that Fiziev, versus, Bobby Green fight, he was gassing out, and if there was another round, Bobby probably would have won that fight. So it'll be interesting to see, how he does, or has he really leveled up on his cardio? I'm banking that he has. He should know how to prepare for a 5 round fight. He's training with a lot of savages over at Tiger Muay Thai. Can take a tip or two from those guys down there. So I don't see any reason why he shouldn't be ready for 5 rounds. I don't see any reason why he should lose this fight, other than the fact he just wasn't prepared for 5 rounds or an RDA, which I don't blame him. But this is a big step up, and Fiziev after this, I mean, he's going for top five, maybe even possibly a title fight. It would not surprise me. I mean, he's right there. So if he gets this done, especially in spectacular fashion, would not surprise me if he, skips the line and can get up there just to
Yeah, great stuff. The sky truly is the limit for Fiziev, and if he's able to and early and maybe he hops on the mind, call him in the top five rather than Vince Vaughn, then you're absolutely right. I could see him skipping the line for sure. So it's interesting to see what Tapology is looking like. 70% is rolling with Fiziev, and about half of it is Brown for that finish. So seems like they're along your line of thinking where Fiziev has got to get this finish, but there is a majority for that beige decision. So I'm a little surprised by that, just based on how we saw Fiziev kind of fade in that fight against Bobby Green, and so it's going to blow my mind if Fiziev can grind out a 5-round, 25-minute decision over RDA, because RDA is a guy who will never gas out. He can seemingly go for 10 rounds if he needed to, and a fun little nugget for this one, Meat. If this fight does end up going the distance, then Dos Anjos' total fight time will be just under 8 total hours, which would pass Frankie Edgar's current record. And it's absolutely insane how many hours that RDA has logged in this octagon. And in this one, I think he's logging more minutes, Meat, and I think he's logging another W. I really think that he's getting this one done over Fiziev. I think if he survives the first 7.5 minutes, then ultimately RDA is going to put a pace on Fiziev that Fiziev is not going to be able to handle, especially across 25 minutes. So I think that the fact that this is a meat event actually does Fiziev a disservice. I mean, in the short term. In the long term, I think this will be great for his career, because if he is a future champ, he's going to have to get used to these 5-round affairs. But I don't know if he's going to be ready just yet against a guy like RDA, who has literally the most experience of any guy in the UFC if this fight goes as I'm anticipating. So I'm rolling with the dog in this one. Plus 170 is Rafael dos Anjos, minus 200 for Fiziev. Any last thoughts on this one? And it should be more of a coin flip, right? That just seems like juicy odds for RDA.
Yeah, definitely juicy odds, especially the fact that it's a 5-rounder. So, keep that in mind. But yeah, I'm still rolling with Fiziev. I think he's the real deal. I think he gets it early and often, but would not surprise me if RDA gets it done. This is definitely a very scary one. I'm not going to touch this personally for betting for Fiziev, but a little sizzle on an RDA upset would not surprise me. So definitely look at that. But throw in the comments who you got, the real Rafael RDA or the other real Rafael Ottoman.